What are you most excited about for people to see when they go to see buy Batman and Harley Quinn?
I hope will appeal as much to old school fans as to people who've never seen an episode of Batman the Animated Series. We try to make it as much of a standalone movie as possible. That you don't have to have seen every episode of BTAS to understand it, but at the same time, if you are an old school BTAS, there's definitely some Easter eggs in there that fans will appreciate. So it's unusual for us in that it's an action / comedy with a little bit more of an emphasis on comedy, which than anything we've ever done in long form. So I'm excited to see how that goes over with people. But I mean, it's just a fun romp, So hopefully people will dig it.
This time, it seems like a little more comedy than anything. Were there any slight changes that Bruce Timm maybe wanted to do, or did he jump you right back into those classic voices that you did for Bruce Wayne and Batman?
Well, the fun part about doing this was after having done The Killing Joke, which was so dark,
yes,
so epically dark, to get to come and do this, which is lighter and more fun. But when you're playing comedy, you never play the comedy. That'll kill it. You always play the reality, and the comedy's going on around you. The world is cockeyed around you in comedy, but you're not playing comedy because that's not funny. So I am truthful to Batman. Batman is consistent, but Harley Quinn is like doing, cartwheels around me, and I'm going crazy trying to figure out who this woman is, and that's funny. So there's a lot of humor in it, but it doesn't violate the truth of Batman. He's still the same character.
So what makes this Poison Ivy different from all the other iterations that we've had? Or is there anything different?
You know what? I can't answer that because I owe a debt of gratitude to everyone who's played every iteration of Poison Ivy. So the only difference is it's me, and I hope I did a good job.
Did you do any research upon going into this role? Did you try to voice some of the
I did, and I asked them what was most important to them. And listen, the history of Poison Ivy is, there are a million twists and turns, but her core person is justified in eco-terrorism. Like, she believes she's right and wants to return the Earth to a pre-human paradise, and possibly at the expense of all of mankind. She's sexy and righteous and educated and evil to some. I didn't see her that way. So it's just an honor to be able to play her this time, and I hope I did it justice.
Where does this take place? Because we have a lot of different DC animators that are coming out, and I'm starting to get confused. So where exactly does this take place?
You mean in the timeline or location-wise?
Is there a timeline?
Well, no. This is just Gotham City, and I would say if it's in a universe, it's in a BTAS universe, or maybe BTAS adjacent, because it's a slightly sillier universe. Okay,
so what makes it slightly sillier?
The jokes are you'll see. As soon as the credits start rolling, you see that it's done like a Bullwinkle or a Pink Panther cartoon. That's what the credits are like. You're like, oh my gosh, this is a comedy. This is sort of like a comedy 48 hours with superheroes, with Batman and Harley.
What are you looking forward to most when people see this movie?
I look forward to them not hating it. You know what? What's exciting about being here at Comic-Con is it's gonna show in a big hall, and if people like the jokes, they're gonna laugh. You write a sad movie, you don't hear people cry, but if you write a comedy, there's always the chance that they might laugh and you might hear it. And so if they do, I'll be really satisfied.
What were you most excited about when this project was presented to you?
Well, I have had the dream of playing Nightwing again all these years. And so when they told me that they had written this script, and it's a great deal of the script is about Nightwing, I was just thrilled. And I read the script and I said, I can't wait to record this.
And on top of it, you've been away from Nightwing for a while, so was it like riding a bicycle where you're like, oh man, I have to go and rewatch stuff and kind of figure out where my groove is at?
No, we slipped right back into it. Kevin and I have a great working relationship, worked together all these years, and Bruce Timm, who was the genius behind the original show, he was in charge of the movie. It was like no time had passed. It really was like no time had passed.
Hanging out with friends again.
Exactly, and when we first get in the studio, we have to do a sound check to make sure the microphones are set to the right levels. And I started doing the voice, and I remember Bruce saying, just a little too low, just a little bit up, and I brought my pitch up a little bit. He goes, "That's it. That's Nightwing." So Nightwing came back just like that.
Was there at any point did you want to go extremely dark, and they were just like, you know what, let's just make it a little bit more light bright?
Yeah, I mean, because Bruce is a legend, right? And so most of the time, like if you're working for Bruce, he's leading, the production. Again, especially when it's a story that is very close to him. So yeah, most of the time, again, I was just sort of trying to follow him and sort of figure out like where do you want to go. I mean, we went a little bit dark in the beginning, but it's just like this is not that kind of movie. Excuse me. And once we rebuilt it. And I'm just like, oh yeah, that it's not, it's a different type of fight now. You know what I mean? It feels like just. I don't want to jump too far ahead, but in the, obviously it's Harley and versus like Ivy in a way.
Yeah.
Like their fight feels like, oh, there's like friends that are basically, it's almost like a petty but fight between friends that they're not really trying to kill each other, but they're pissed at each other kind of a thing. You know what I mean? So I'm just like, okay, yeah, that. Tonally, that totally, I get it now,
What was your favorite part about doing this role?
Oh, I love the fact that he wasn't just this big hulking creature, like that just, was, killing bad guys, not killing good guys left and right. I just love that he was actually very intelligent. He spoke very intelligently. So, and, that made him even more deadly for me.
Were you able to do a little bit of research upon this, or were they just like, this is what we want to go with, let's run down this route?
That's basically what happened. They just threw them at me with those ideas, and I just laid it down, and everybody seemed to be happy with it.
What are you looking forward to most for people seeing when they see this character? Other than the killing.
Well, I like the relationship he has with Poison Ivy, the relationship they have. And I'm just looking forward to people basically accepting this new DC bad guy into the universe. And I'm interested to hear what the fans have to say.